What It Takes Radio Company, along with interesting ideas. And today it is again time for the Transformation Project. And today, what does a transformed life look like? What might we experience if we can really live in the transformation zone? Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Stan, the radio man, Stan, the transformation man, Stan, the coach man. Lots of things we are, try to be. And thank you for your time and your attention. This is another edition of Interesting Ideas as it flows into the weekend. And during the weekend, we always are seeking to learn a little bit more about life and business and how we can become transformation people. The Transformation Project, entering into the transformation zone, being what we call T people, the Mr. T, Ms. T, Mrs. T, the transformation people. Now, today what I'd like to do is, again, remind you that this is part of a project, as my colleague and friend, mentor and student, Joe Pine, is putting together a book, the book, we hope, on what it means to have a life and business that works in the emerging and becoming, and now, in many cases, very present, transformation economy. And so, he's writing the book and he's asking you to help him. So if you want to have a part of that, transformationsbook.substack.com. Let's make sure I have it right now at this age of dyslexia for me. Transformationsbook.substack.com. There we go. And that'll take you there, and you can start to read the book Writing in Progress. And you can also start making your own comments, because that's what it's all about, for you to be a part of the project. And so is this deal. So please keep in mind that you can reach out to me, Stan at, we'll try this one, Stan at witradio.net. Stan at witradio.net, because this is part of What It Takes Radio. We are a podcasting, publishing, and performance company, and we're helping people embrace the new realities of the modern media so that they can truly be transformed people and share those transformation ideas with others, just like we are doing right now. This is not only a video, but it's also a radio, and we adapt it. So literally, anybody who has an internet device anywhere in the world can watch the program, listen to the program. They can do both. And in fact, if they want to, they can ask us and we can send them a transcript so they can read what was on the program. A little bit about what I did with a project which I was at least a part of this week, which is going to be included right now in this Transformation Project program. Okay, now let's get to it. One of the things we're trying to discover is, what is life like if we live in the transformation zone? Joe Pine has decided that essentially these will be some of the qualities that are a part of what it means to be a transformed person, based on the old wisdom of an American revolutionary hero, Benjamin Franklin, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Healthy, wealthy, and wise. Well, of course, that's most people say, well, that would be nice. I would love to have good health, true wealth. And by the way, wealth is not necessarily money, but it may be helpful. And wisdom. Most of us would like to seek and find what truly matters in life. We'd like to be men and women of wisdom. And those are all good things we should seek. Now, what I particularly said is, now, what do those terms mean to you and to perhaps the projects that you are involved in? What is good health? One of my doctor friends, and I've been after him to write the book on it, made a wonderful statement one time when he was talking about health and well-being and spirituality, which is part of our topic, said to the surprised audience that his healthiest patient just died. One of his healthiest patients just died. And of course, well, what does that mean? Well, of course, that led to a discussion of what truly is perhaps the purpose and meaning of life. And also, how could that be? And that led to a conversation which will perhaps give us some idea of what healthy really is. Wealth. What is wealth? Another friend is going through a project in which he is saying part of the problem with the accumulation of wealth is people can't answer the question, well, what is enough? Usually the answer to how much wealth is enough is, well, just a little bit more. Well, maybe things would change if we would say, well, once we have enough, maybe that's enough. And then what should we do with the rest? Good question. Good question. And what truly is wisdom? Not necessarily knowledge or education, not necessarily learning. Some of the wisest people that we may know have had no formal education whatsoever. And they find their wisdom in other sources, oftentimes in the legacy of their lives. Oftentimes, wisdom, as we discover, is those stories that have been told from our ancestors long ago that all of a sudden we discover that people of maybe even our ethnicity, our tradition, our legacy, there were things that they knew, and they're very helpful and useful, but there was no formal book or writing or anything like that went into it. So the question is, what is healthy, wealthy, and wise? And then I am encouraged to add a fourth, and this is just kind of Stan at the moment. Maybe healthy, wealthy, wise, and wonder. Yeah, maybe a good life is one in which there is a sense of awe and wonder in it. One of my mentors, through obviously not a personal quality, Abraham Heschel, the worldwide Jewish philosopher who was quite a confidant and a mentor to Martin Luther King Jr., basically said this, and it was part of a book he wrote. I asked God for wonder, and he gave it to me. Maybe transformation will require us to have a sense of wonder, to be able to wonder, to reimagine, to find all kinds of inspirations in the mystery of wonder. Well, I'll ask you to think about that. Healthy, wealthy, wise, and wonder. However, that led me to a workshop that I attended via virtual here just last week. And what it was a gentleman who, from the workshop arenas of the Duke University School of Medicine and theology and all of those things put together. And it was about the relationship between spirituality and our life, and particularly about our well-being. And so that was part of the project. And so there was a gentleman who was brought up, man's name who sponsors the event and becoming a good friend, Dr. Harold Koenig. And we could help you find how you could be in touch with him. And what he did is he brought one of his friends on, and the whole idea was that how do we deal with trauma? How does our spirituality help us to deal with significant trauma? And could trauma actually be something that leads to transformation ultimately? Well, most of us don't particularly care that we want to go through trauma to transformation, but what about that? And as a result of that, he said that what we need is to have an idea about resiliency. And so that's what we're going to talk about next. So I want to introduce you to this workshop, and here we go. The gentleman's name is Naji Abi-Hashem. Naji, N-A-J-I, Abi, A-B-I dash Hashem, H-A-S-H-E-M. And he's a speaker, a guest, a consultant, a wise man of faith and spirit and life, and dealing with trauma. And particularly the subject that attracted me was about resiliency. One of the factors that we are coming to believe in terms of helping people not only aspire to things and to create things and to survive things is the ability to cultivate resiliency in our lives. The ability to cultivate resiliency in our lives. And so with his and Dr. Koenig's permission, here is a brief excerpt from that workshop.
And what do you hope to leave as legacy after you? These are some obstacles for cultural resiliency for your reading, and some points about recovery and the forces between faith and doubt, and complaint versus patience, acceptance versus resentment, and how to pick up a person from one place and help them to move to another. And finally, Unger is a cultural psychologist who did a lot of work on resiliency, and he said the importance of oral tradition and storytelling and metaphor, and being involved in rituals and meaningful customs that are very important for resiliency and recovery. Religious faith, solidarity with people, sense of dignity and honor in the clan, in the tribe, and shared experiences from the past to the present, and keep a realistic view of life, and tolerate pain and tolerate ambiguity and suffering and hardships. And finally, fortitude and patience with self, others, and life are prerequisite. And here we ask, how will resiliency manifest itself in the near future? We don't know. Where it's going to be rooted? How can we cultivate it and promote it? Whatever the meaning of resiliency and society and the human being will happen in this polarized age, this globalized age, let's hope and remain and encourage each other to remain resilient. I close with this poetic few things I wrote down. Resiliency is the ability to transform pain into purpose, hopelessness into hopelessness, perplexity into passion, crippling into creativity, devastation into determination, resigning into reframing, being scattered into refocused, disillusionment into enlightenment, regression into reinvestment, retreating into re-envisioning, and the ability to transform degeneration into regeneration, transform misery into mission, and transform tragedy into treasure. So the rest are pages of bibliography. Thank you very much for your attention. It's an honor to share with you again. Thank you, Dr. Harold.
Thank you, Naji, for this terrific presentation. And we have a few minutes here now for questions. So I would open it up to, just unmute yourself and ask Naji a question.
Or comment, or another thought You're welcome.
Yes. Stan, you got yourself unmuted.
Well, I did very much because this is so relevant to some of the work I'm trying to do and what we actually call the Transformation Project, in which we're trying to help people, as we say, get into the transformation zone of life. That you literally live as a transformed person. And so particularly the quality of resiliency has been one, and that's why I jumped as quickly as I could to this topic. Could you give us maybe one of your favorite stories of a person who just demonstrated so much resiliency that you were almost amazed by them?
Thank you for your comment. And yes, I met dozens and dozens, so I became humble, really.
Yes, that's the point.
I have neighbors, I have students, I have colleagues, I work with pastors and then community leaders, teachers. I give workshops, seminars to hospitals similar to this one, you know. And then I became humble. I did the workshops for teenage Syrians and Iraqis when they came to Lebanon. They brought some for recovery and for rehabilitation. So they invite me to do a seminar with them. So when I was talking about what is grief, what is loss, and what is tragedy, and how can we survive and tolerate, and they were sitting in front of me, some of them, their bodies full of sharpnels and broken, and then and they say, you know, we appreciate, you know, you're helping us, but if it were not for my grandparents, it were not for my faith and for my team, school children, friends, I would not survive. And now I know the meaning of life. I've seen people who were broken, who became very poor, who lost health, and then bounce back again, and then say, well, God is still above, and there is still hope. So it's amazing. There is mystery about how people sometimes mobilize their faith and hope and keep perseverance and keep enduring. And you know, I'm humbled when I see people high tolerance of pain. In North America here, I'm used to quick intolerance of pain. Any problem need to be fixed, and anything need to be healed quickly. But in other parts of the world, no. We live every day, we are sick every day, we heal every day, we die every day. Hardship are part of life. So let's embrace everything. See the philosophy of that.
Well, there we go, friends, and thank you for giving us these 20 minutes. We are very, very grateful. I hope they've been helpful to you. If we can be helpful to you, if you'd like to know more about the Transformation Project, the Transformation Zone, being in touch with Mr. Joe Pine, we can arrange that. So why don't you reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. We'll make that simple, stanhouston@gmail.com. And we'll be glad to help you out. All the best and blessings to you. And remember, we are called to live a life in which we seek the mission of perhaps the ability to not only thrive, but to help others thrive and survive, and perhaps to live in a better world, perhaps even a different world, because we live and embrace the transformation zone. All the best. Till next time. Bye for now.